Hello everyone, this is Malik Khwaja from Think Higher Consultants, and we are here live for you to give you update and also give you the details on the employed sponsorship visas such as 482 subclass or subclass 186. However, our today's main topic of focus would be how to apply for employer sponsorship for subclass 482 and what are the other steps included after the sponsorship application. So before we start our session, we'll just wait for some more audience to join us, and meanwhile you can watch some ads that we can put up on. Thank you.
Jess talking to her parents on Skype and showing concern that she wants to stay in Australia as she's getting really good opportunity to one of the renowned company. She further said, that I'm in search of a good consultant and I'll apply TR through them.
Okay, goodbye mom and dad, I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, take care, dear.
Jess opens her email as soon as calls finishes and she sees a newsletter from Think Higher Consultants, which says free temporary visa application if you get professional year program through Think Higher. She calls to Think Higher and discuss her situation with their qualified counselor. They explained her the benefits of professional year as well as offered her free temporary visa application. They also explained the checklist for temporary visa as well. Jess was so satisfied that she submitted all her documents online and got her temporary residency visa and professional year application done. Contact Think Higher Consultants for resident return visa. We provide personalized and on-spot services leads to permanent visa pathways and Australian citizenship. Facebook/Think Higher Consultants. Twitter/Think Higher House. Instagram/Think Higher Consultants.
Welcome back, you all. So, as we were discussing, our today's topic is for employer sponsorship for subclass 482 visa and the further steps to go with the nomination and visa application. So, employer sponsorship. So, the employer sponsorship is the first step in order for an applicant to apply for the 482 visa, or this is the first step for a sponsor to nominate a person for a particular occupation to apply for a nomination for that visa, subclass 482 visa. For employer sponsorship visa, the employer has to be in Australia. The employer can have a branch overseas as well. So let's say if there are some labor or employees working overseas for an employer, and the employer needs a person to come to Australia and work on their Australian branch, for that they need to go through the subclass 482 visa, and for that the first step would be the employer sponsorship visa. However, that's not just the case. So, this is just one example. The second example would be if an employer finds someone in Australia who is very skilled for the position which is available in the company, they can also sponsor them by going through the same step. So, the question is how a sponsor become eligible for the sponsorship application. Now, you may have heard that the sponsorship application, also called Standard Business Sponsorship, in short, it is called SBS. So, to become eligible for SBS, the employer has to be physically located in Australia. That's number one. Second thing, the employer has to have an office or a location where they have a particular place where an employee come and work for the employer. So they must have a place either leased or either on mortgage or either rental, anything, but they must have an office in Australia. Third thing, and the most important part, is that the company must be registered in Australia. Now, the company could be registered on ABN only, or company can have an ACN number, which is also called Australian Company Number. So you can sponsor anyone either with ABN and a business name or a trading name, or you can sponsor someone with both ABN and ACN holding uh, legitimacy in Australia. Now, so these are the three important things. The other things, which includes how many employees do you currently have, how your business is going currently, and then how you expect your business in the future, and how many employees are you expecting to sponsor either from overseas or either from onshore. So this is how you consider yourself eligible for SBS once you put up this criteria and once you check mark all the checklists that I've mentioned. Now comes how to apply for the employer sponsorship. So this is very simple. If you want to fast track and if you want an excellent consultancy and a superior advice on how to launch the SBS application, you can always contact Think Higher Consultants. We are the registered migration agent. Will help you out with your sponsorship application. It will be very smooth. We have a lot of sponsors who got the sponsorship application approval within 1 day to 1 week. So that's surprising news. Normally, the SBS takes somewhere around 1 month. How we do it? We submit a complete application with all the relevant documents so the case officer once open the file, they tick mark all the checks and then grant the sponsorship application straight away. So yes, however, these are the documents and these are the procedure how to apply for the sponsorship application. Number one thing is, as I mentioned, your business has to be registered in Australia. For that, you would require an ABN certificate or ABN extract from ASIC website, or you can provide, just as I mentioned, the ABS extract from the ACSI website, or you can also provide an ACN number, which is also called Australian Company Number, if your company is registered as a PTY Ltd or in other forms as well. Now, this is how you show that your company is registered in Australia. Second thing is, as your company is physically located in Australia, you have to provide the documents such as lease agreements, mortgage documents, ownership documents, and such documents to prove that you are physically located in Australia. Furthermore, you can also provide business insurance documents. You can also provide the current organizational structure showing how many employees you have and then how many employees you might gonna offer the fur. So you can provide a hierarchy chart where you can separate the departments and the position and then convey the case officer that this is what the current structure is and this is what we need for the business expansion. Now, if your business is very new, let's say if you open your business a month ago and then you want to apply for the sponsorship application, then you need to provide some additional documents such as business plans. So in the business plans, you have to provide what sort of activities you're going to do uh, in your business in order to expand it, and then that would be the reason why you require the employee in certain positions in your company. So yes, so these are the basic thing. Another thing that is very much important for SBS, which is the financial documents. So you have to show that you are physically running in Australia. You have some profit and loss statements and stuff. So how you're gonna show it? You can provide either the financial statement for the last fiscal year. You can also provide 4 best statements for the last financial year and the ongoing one. You can also provide your tax return lodgement documents and the bank statements showing that you have continuous transaction going on in your business. That would also show that you're financially stable in Australia, physically present, and you have the capacity to sponsor someone. So these are all the things that you would require for the sponsorship application. And if you need help in the sponsorship application, you can always contact Think Higher Consultants. Our email, phone number, and other contact details are already at the bottom. You can see it there, so you can contact us there. We're gonna move forward with the nomination and for it to visa application for the information for the sponsors as well as those applicants who want to apply for the 482 visa. However, before we do that, we would run some ads so that we can wait for more audience to join us. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Anil Khwaja. I'm a registered migration agent and co-founder Think High Consultants. 476 visa is a 2 years work visa for recent engineering graduates. There are lots of universities under Washington Accord where you can apply for this great work visa. Lots of countries including India, Pakistan, Turkey, China, Malaysia are a part of Washington Accord. To know your eligibility, please contact Think High Consultants Melbourne or Pakistan office. Don't miss this opportunity.
Welcome back to the live session. As we are back, we have more audience that join us, and then we already had some person who's commented us. So if we can see some comments, yes, Mohit Sani saying hi sir, good morning, good evening, Mohit. Welcome to the session. Hope you are getting enough information for yourself as well as you can convey this information to your friend. Share the Facebook link and the YouTube link wherever you're watching this seminar, this video, and then convey this information to everyone. Thank you. Yeah. Now the next step is the nomination application. So nomination application is an application where a sponsor advise the Department of Home Affairs that we have an specific position available in the company which needs to be filled by an employee. Now, normally what the Home Affairs advise the employers that they must hire those who are Australian citizens or permanent residents, and then if they can't find the Australian residents or permanent residents, or if they can't find skillful Australian citizens or permanent residents suitable for this job or for this position, then they can look for the international students or international applicants or those who are already in Australia or those who are working for their company already in that position, and then they want to expand or promote them to the newer position, and likewise you can do this thing. So coming back to the topic, nomination application. Now, how to prove that you have a genuine position available in your business? So you have to show about your business, what your business do. You have to tell them the introduction of your business. You have to show them your business organization chart. This is what the chart is. Now we are going for the business expansion. The chart gonna expand, and then there would be some position vacant available. So you can show these positions on the organization chart to show the Australian government that we need a person to be employed here. Next thing is, as I've mentioned you, the first preference should be given to the Australian citizens or the permanent residents, and then for that purpose, the employer has to go through the labor market testing. The labor market testing is also known as LMT. So the employer has to generate a report and provide some evidence that they have done the LMT. Now, how the LMT is done? So the LMT is a process where you have to put up a word outside that the position is available. In order to do that, you have to advertise the position in the platform that are locally known in the community and also known worldwide. So you can use for example, you can use seek.com, you can use indeed.com, you can also use the newspaper, radio channel, You can advertise on your TV channel that this position is available and blah blah. So in these ways, you have to make sure that you are posting your ad on an official website and well-known website for jobs purposes. So you have to post at least 3 job advertisement. First job, 2 of the job advertisement you need to post on these websites that I've mentioned you, and there is a mandatory requirement for the third job application, which you have to post on the job active website, which is a government website that allow the Australian citizens or permanent residents to look for this job and apply for the job to streamline this process. So once you post these 3 ads, you have to wait for at least 28 days. 28 days is recommended to the employers because to give the Australian citizens or permanent residents enough chance to apply for the jobs, and if they meet the requirement, then that's done. They can employ the Australian citizens and then keep this position filled with them. And then later on, if the Australian citizen or PR leave this position, they can again do the LMT. And if they don't find any Australian citizen or PR, they can definitely sponsor um, overseas applicant or the onshore applicant, which are not Australian citizen or permanent resident. So after 28 days, you have to give the evidence that how many interviews you have done. You have to show the chart that you have. If you have posted your ads online, you can access the chart where you can see how many applicants applied, how many interviews you have done, and what was the decision. So after getting all these 3 job advertisement data, you have to produce an LMT report, labor market testing report. As you know, ThinkHire is always here to help you guys with the LMT report. So you can always contact us with that. And with this data, we can prepare a good report to you so that case officer can see and right away approve your nomination application straight away. Now, so in the report, you have to put up all the data and give your own conclusion. Then this is why we couldn't sponsor the Australian citizen or permanent resident for this position. And in the same report, you can also mention about the person you are going to nominate for this position. So this is how the LMT is done. Now, to complete the nomination application, you require some further documents, which include an employment contract given to the person who is selected for this position. Even if the employee is already working with you on the same position, you have to generate a new employment contract with the new date. You can write a condition such as subject to visa approval and then apply accordingly. So the employment contract is the most important part of this application. Furthermore, you have to submit the position description for the position that is available. The position description must have to match with the ANSCO code definition of that occupation, um, released by the Department of the Home Affairs. So make sure you are not copy pasting the duties and stuff. Just make sure that it is in line with the ANSCO code of that occupation. Okay, so the employment contract is done, position description is done. Furthermore, you have to provide the document such as market salary surveys. So you have to do the survey in the market, see what's the current market salary is for this position. You can go through the different websites, Pay Skills, Glassdoor, and there are many out there. You can check the salary range there, and then you must offer the average salary that you are getting from these research to the employee who you are going to sponsor. It could be an Australian citizen, PR, or the employee that you are sponsoring for this visa application, for this nomination application. So you have to make sure about this thing that you are not giving less salary than the one which is the average salary in the market. So that's all the requirement for the nomination application, and these are the two steps that needs to be taken by the employer for an employee in order to apply for the sponsorship and nomination. And then once the sponsorship and nomination is approved, the applicant, the employee can apply for the visa application for subclass 482. We're going to run one more ad, and then we're going to go to the final topic for the visa application, and then we're going to summarize our session for today. And if we get any questions online, we're going to answer them, or you can put up in the comments, email us, or contact us and book the migration appointment with us. We have a lot of staff to help you with that, and we have our migration agents in the panel, so you can always contact us and get further information. So add right up, and then we're going to come back for the visa application details.
Employer-sponsored visas. Are your employer is happy to sponsor you on 482 or 186 temporary skill shortage visa, TSS, MLTSSL or 408 visa? Permitting you to live in Australia while working full-time for him on temporary basis. Don't get accentuated, as you can contact us for complete assistance and guidance. Contact Think Hire Consultants at thinkhire.com.au.
Welcome back to the session. So we have just discussed the employer sponsorship application and the nomination application. Now is the time to the final step. This part is for the visa applicants, the employee who is getting sponsored by an employer. So the visa applicant has to meet certain requirements in order to apply for this visa. Number one requirement is that they must have a relevant qualification in the nominated occupation they are applying for. Number two, they must have at least 2 years of full-time experience in the nominated occupation or closely related occupation that they are applying for the position. This experience has to be a post-qualification experience in order to meet the ANSCO definition and ANSCO requirement for this position or for this occupation. Now, the applicant can also prove that they are skillful by showing a skill assessment to the occupation. Now, the key part is that there are some occupation in 482 visa where the skills assessment is a mandatory process. So skill assessment is a process when a skill assessment body qualify you for a specific occupation by saying that you have some relevant qualification in the field and you have enough experience in the field to be qualified for that skilled occupation. You can say as a motor mechanic, you can say welder, you can say a management consultant, you can say software engineer, biomedical engineer, any occupation you can go for the skill assessment. However, not all occupation require the skill assessment for 482 visa. So if you don't want to go through that pathway, make sure you double check the occupational requirement if it requires skill assessment or not, and then go with the 482 application. Otherwise, you make sure that you have the skill assessment already in hand and then apply for the 482 application. So this is how you prove that you have the relevant skill for this occupation. Okay, so there are some occupations where caveats apply. So what are the caveats? Caveats are the further conditions which are the occupational based, where some requirements are need to be met by the sponsors as well. So for example, if you have an occupation accountant general, so for the accountant general occupation there are 3 caveats that applies as of today. Number one is that the employer must have more than 1 million turnover. So when they provide the financial statements in the sponsorship and nomination application, they have to prove that they have at least 1 million turnover. Second caveat for the accountant would be they must have at least more than 5 employees working currently, and then they want more employees to be sponsored in the company. And then the third caveat that applies that the position should not have the low skill level tasks. So that means that an accountant clerk can't be an accountant journal. Okay. Also, the 2 years experience that the employee is showing for the visa application, make sure that that 2 years of experience was not an accountant clerk, but up to the level of accountant journal. And to get this surety, we do recommend the applicants to apply for the skill assessment with the body, and so that they have this statement from the skill assess body that they have the relevant skill and the experience was relevant and up to the mark of that nominated occupation. Okay, so 2 years of experience. Furthermore, the applicant may need to provide some identity documents, go through the medical exam, provide the police clearance checks and stuff. They have to also check if they are in Australia that they don't have any debt in Australia. And these are just basic requirements, and then they can apply for the visa application. So, um, to summarize, forward to employer sponsorship applications come with 3 steps. Number 1 is a sponsorship application. Number 2 is the nomination application. And number 3 is the visa application. Sponsorship application and the nomination application is done by the sponsor, also known as employer, and the visa application is done by the visa applicant. And Think Hire consultants here can act as a migration agent for both the employer and the employee so that the process will be streamlined and you can get your visa as soon as possible. And also for sponsors, you can get the sponsorship and nomination application approval ASAP, because we're going to provide the best service to you guys. Contact us on our email ID or phone number, and then we'll be in the reach. If you have any comments or stuff, you can just list down your comments on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook. You can message us on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. We will be keep posting further sessions related to other sponsorship subclass such as subclass 186, 494, and other topics as well. So stay tuned with us. Thank you so much.